Let's look real quickly at how do I design my mini lesson around a mentor text or my writing or my children's writing. There's a structure that is not going to go anyway anytime soon. Lucy Calkins is, she's given credit for creating the mini lesson 20 years ago. She doesn't care about that. She's just like, well, it's good teaching, it's gradual release model, it's effective practice, and it's a way to teach in all your entire day. So let's look at it quickly. And we do need to get to the heart of teaching writing. That's the competency coming up so that you feel ready to roll that out. What you're looking at on the next page, those 4 pieces going down, are the 4 aspects of every 15-minute teaching that you deliver to your kids. And you've heard me lay this down a little bit. The first part is about a minute long, a minute or 2. And it's where you're saying these words, and I'm not giving you this verbiage to copy into the box because I want you to go be robotic teachers. No one's different from another. But I promise you, some of you teaching dual language, those kids with IEPs, students with processing problems, they really learn to lean on this framework, and so do teachers. And it starts with writers I notice, and then comes the smart things you are noticing. And you know, when I go into classrooms to coach, I don't know these kids. I haven't been there to notice things. Instead, I say, writers, your teacher told me, and I make things up. Okay? And I say things that I hope you're going to do, and that might be you too next week. You might say, I noticed that during the long weekend, a lot of you came in our door this morning already knowing some things you might write about. Okay? And over the break, one of your really smart teachers came up. She had an excellent question. What about informational writing? That's where we're going to be living for quite a number of days. The first thing to do once you've got that season established, you've got some writing folders to produce, start immersing them in another condition of learning, right? Approximation, and now comes immersion. Immerse them in that kind of writing. Let them look at your National Geographic for Kids, your Ranger Rips, your My Big Backyard, highlights. This is a conversation with your media specialist and librarian to say, how can we get access to some of these really good books and just lay around on our tummies for a couple days and study and notice what these authors of informational writing are doing. And then as teachers, you get to decide, am I going to put a big umbrella of everybody? I want you on the umbrella of writing about animals. But you get to choose. Do you know a lot about dogs? A lot about horses? Or teachers, you could open up even wider. The ceiling over your workshop can be anything you're an expert at. This little guy might make an all about skateboarding book, all about Minecraft. There's a place for that, where they're writing and doing some of that. All about dogs, all about whatever it is they're experts at, okay? And then each day, notice a new feature about those informational texts. Oh, bold headings. Boys and girls, what might be your bold headings or sections of your informational writing? Let me help design some of that for you. They might need that main idea, detail kind of structure given to them. Okay, I hope that helps a little bit with that. Immerse them in that kind and start making those books that look a lot like it. Then I shift to, in an exaggerated way, I'll say, writers, I noticed that no one's making excuses anymore. You don't know what to write about. Nathan realized he is an expert at skateboarding. Josh is going to plan to write a book all about PE, the things that he knows and learning in there. All about the Henry Miller Zoo, all about Spring Lake Magnet Elementary, all about my family. You could go a lot of different directions with that. But today, I want to teach you one more thing an informational writer does. And that is, they put in a shocking fact maybe no one else really knew before. Can you tell us something kind of exciting or different that maybe none of us knew about Dragon Ball Z? Is that really cool? Did he call me? And then the bulk of your mini lesson teachers is the teach. It's about what I put there, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes. They held us accountable when I was at Lucy's College in New York. The iPad was going. We had to deliver that mini lesson in a way that was timed. Because again, they're gonna learn way more by going and doing it. So here's your words to push yourself forward. Make a cheat sheet if you have to and say, all right, watch me now. Can I show you how my book, all about, what would your teacher book be about? You have to make one too. Okay, you should be growing one, really good one, as you teach them the next year, and the next year, the next 29 years, you can teach from it. And say, can I show you how I put in some shocking facts that nobody else really knew about? Or you can say, can I show you how this Highlight magazine did it really well? Or this National Geographic for Kids? Or so on. And then pretty soon someone in your room is going to do it, one of your kiddos, and you can teach them that tomorrow. And then you say at the end of that time, you hear how the teaching point keeps surfacing and surfacing. You say, did you notice how when I did that bar hang, did I still do that? I was kind of good at the bar hang. I'm old. Were you good at the bar hang?
No, that kind of bar hang.
Oh, that bar hang. Did you see how I didn't just sprinkle in ordinary, everyday facts about black labs, but instead I put in this one fact that I don't think anybody else would know, or whatever the TP was. Name it again. The next one, I've added these two recently that I've learned by reading some more about writing. Boys and girls, the reason you want to do this is because in your informational book that you share when our third grade buddies come in a couple weeks to celebrate our writing together, did you hear that, Lucy? The reason you want to do this is because your books will be more engaging, and I bet your audience that you're writing for will learn even more about this thing you love. You know a lot about karate, but it's something maybe we didn't know. I have a first grader that wrote a whole bunch of books about karate, and then true stories from his life about karate, and poetry about karate. His mom and dad came and laid out his awesome books at parent-teacher conferences mid-year, and they looked at him and said, Hunter, you haven't had a day of karate. I was like, wow, that sure tells it well. And finally, the way this author did this, boys and girls, the way this author included a strong need was to put some echoing sentences. Okay. There's a lot of ways to do some of the things that we teach. Here comes the part then that is just a have a go, and the big ear is because your job is to eavesdrop learning this. Your language will be now. So let's try this. It's your turn, boys and girls, right here at the rod. And they need this. They need this turn and talk. My own son did a stint in the state penitentiary. He was a caseworker there. I already did. He lasted about 6 weeks. I always thought, well, at least he can run fast. But I was on my knees praying a lot of the day. I just thought he might get punched upside the head once. But I said to her, I said, what's it like? I know it's tough in there. He goes, yeah, everyone walks in a line and kind of dresses the same and can't talk in the halls. This guy is cool. And I thought, oh, he's doing that because he knew it would jar me, but he was just teasing. But that's what this is about, is eavesdropping and saying, right here at the rug, we're going to try this and have a feel for what that might go on another day when you try it. And then it's that think, pair, share. And there's hot off of Twitter again, Richard Allington, some of the deep researchers we trust are saying that think, pair, share is really still a powerful thing to do as learners. Think in your head, boys and girls, what would be a topic you know a lot about that you'd like to build a big old fat informational book around? You turn and tell, that's the next word, your writing partner. I like it, that's it because it's a seating arrangement, right? Turn and tell your writing partner across your hand, what are 5 things you know you could probably tell us a lot about. Pokemon cards, maybe you know a lot about your Mrs. Rosen expert. That lends to opinion writing. That's why that movie is the best movie. We did that in our first grade. And then that's where a lot of talking all at once erupts. Sometimes teachers are like, I don't like that sound. It's good. Let them turn and talk. And again, you're seeing it's about 2 minutes long, right? Don't give them a bunch more. Just eavesdrop in on a couple of kids and then ding your magic wand. I use it when you're up in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grades too. And get them back real quickly and say, can I tell you what Eli and Lucas said to each other? They realized they're an expert on a lot of topics. They could draft a few books. Okay? Now, I want to say one more thing about that third phase. There's 2 options. They're in bold there, number 1 and number 2. You could use a shared moment. Because if you say, now what else do you think I did when I was at that wedding in Kansas City? Okay, you're like, I wasn't there, I didn't think I can't even make something up. So far, they'll tell you I got nothing. If you're writing about those weddings and having a baby, getting your first teaching job, they're like, oh, that's so far removed from my world. Use a shared moment where maybe did you have a safety walk together? Maybe you all looked at spiders together in your science lab. Use something you know they all lived and experienced and might know a little bit about. Or the other option that you can lean on every time you teach is, would you all open your folders and take out the all about book you're making? What might be another chapter you could include? Anytime partner. And then they realized I could do different kinds of horses, different kinds of lizards, different kinds of Minecraft games, different kinds of moves. Different kinds of would make a really good chapter in our book. Okay? So those are your 2 options. That's the part I usually say to a teacher, has something happened to all of you recently? Yeah, we had a tornado drill. We had a fire drill. We had a cricket in the corner of our classroom. An OPS teacher, I don't know what building she was from, said to me, a bird flew in our window last night. I could use that story over and over every time we were writing. Here comes the magic words at the end of every mini lesson. And you know what, teachers? This comes at the end of every conference. Writers, today and every day, really for the rest of your life, when you're making a research book, an informational book, or how to procedural narrative piece, remember to, and you name, it's the last words out of your mouth, teachers. And I think that's why I have energy for doing this for 30 years. I love coming to talk to you. That's my favorite job because the work I'm scaffolding in and learning alongside you is not just 3rd grade only. Here's this 3rd grade curriculum that you probably might not revisit the next year or the next year. What they learn in kindergarten, they really go and do the rest of their life as a writer. So that's the top 20 that you're teaching. The rest of your life, when my son's 24, he still runs every day. Not because he loves it, but because he's found a way to go about doing it, and he feels like he belongs to that group, and it's got a lot of benefits. Okay. This part, let's skip a little bit. We're going to get to the heart. Confirming the next part of your workshop. Maybe I'll have to read this back. Yeah, we're going to jump now. When I was talking with Judy, who couldn't be in here, she said, let's make sure we talk about the conferring part of what writers do. We'll come back maybe another day and help you map out what are the TPs. Oh, I don't know what those are. I gave you a template of a mini lesson in there that you can develop and run too. And then we'll skip all the map, the process, artistry. Ooh, that's just, we just don't have time for that today, so don't put that on your phone. I got that little poster off of Twitter. Don't be afraid to get on there. You can email stuff to yourself, print little posters and cheat sheets. Let's look at the sheet that has the piece of pie at the top. and says, conferring. Isn't this, I hope this gives you peace of mind. See the L word at the top under the piece of pie? The pie graph, I mean. There's something I want you to relax in. Have a nice big weekend in front of you. Aren't you happy you chose teaching? You're making a big difference here, you guys. 20th and, where am I? G. 20th and G, those kids need you. You're gonna give them a gift, and you can really just look them in their eyes on Tuesday and listen. That's what those teachers in here were doing this morning. A little guy recognized me from another building, gave me a big hug, and just had to tell me a whole bunch of stuff from this morning. I couldn't believe he remembered me from being in his classroom maybe once. Just be a listener. My dad is 82 years old and had been to a routine eye appointment. And the doctor said, you need to get to your family doctor today. So then Dad made an appointment there, and then he said, you need to get to the pulmonary surgeon in Omaha tomorrow. So I went with Dad, and the doctor came in, and he didn't have a clipboard, a conferencing toolkit, a magic finger. He didn't hook my dad up to an IV and start administering medication. He had everything laid down, and he rolled over to my dad at his level on a stool and put his hands on his knees. And he said, what's going on? That's the look of once the mini lesson's over, they've walked away one by one as you've held up their folder or their little notebooks. They can tippy-toe away one by one. Keep the hush over your room. And then you could sit among them and write, and they're like, oh, my teacher's doing that. That must be valuable. They're doing it too. And then you move among your first little kiddo and you say, how's it going? What are you working on here? Okay, don't start, oh, you forgot all your punctuation. You need to get this done. That's what I said. You need to get busy. Snap fingers and say, you gotta get that whole paper done today. That does not work for a writer. That's like me telling my son, you better go get your 8 miles in today now. He's going to decide when he's ready to go and do that, and he'll do it. But don't demand that your students produce writing. That's not going to work for someone who's an author. Instead, the first C, and this is the framework that works for me, hold this in your mind now as you move among them and you're terrified. The 3 C's are a great way for you to move among them. The first is conversation, like the doctor. And the first question I ask them is, what are you working on here today as a writer? I give them that identity that they're a writer, and they have a plan. What's your plan? And if they sit in silence or they pull their hoodie over their head, I didn't mean to make light of incarceration earlier. I know a lot of our kids' parents are struggling with some of that, and that's a reality for a lot of our kids. And if they've never met their own mom, I don't think I answer very well either what I'm working on today as a writer. If they don't reply or they say, I don't know, you say, well, it looks like, okay, you can name it for them at first, okay? And then here's the other one that I said, what are your plans today? That's what writers have to do. One of my favorite mentors that I learned a lot from is Katie Wood Ray. The best book that I've learned, I have them all. I have a zillion books. Oh, I didn't walk in with it. Yeah, here it is. Is her book called The Writing Workshop. She's one of the best. Katie Wood Ray. I'm going to glance at that on your way out too. Take a picture of her. She'll say, you got to stick your butt to the chair and get it done. Kate D. Mello, because of Winn Dixie, Blueberry winner, she'll say the same thing. She said, no, I wouldn't tell you I love it. Proud to be known that I write, but I don't like the whole act of it. I have to say today, I'm going to sit in my little cubicle without any interruptions from 8 to 11. Okay, a writer needs a goal. And some of your kids come in, right, without any plans. Stuff just happens to them. It's not my fault. What's your plan today? And then what are you doing to write it well? Keep talking with them just a little bit. And again, that's going to be huge for you. That'll be a reflection of you. And that's scary to ask. What do you know makes this book good? What have you learned so far with me that makes it strong? And then you say to all your kids, can you read me a little? And in kindergarten you say, tell me the story in your picture. Or what's this how-to mainly about? What is it that you know that you can teach us? And then I put can I stop you because they'll take you down a long road, they might read their 5-pager. Just get a little bit up there reading out loud. And then, here's what's going on, teachers. While you're conferring, you're just having, your mind is spinning. Of all of the things they're doing well, what can I name for them that is really smart? This is the specific timely feedback we're talking about makes a big difference. Okay? What if you say, can you read me a little, and they say no? What will you do? I make sure I don't pick up their writing and hold it in my hands and read in silence. I kind of put my arm on the back of their chair, I don't care how big they are, and I say, can I read it again for us? And they're almost 100% going to say, sure. 8th grade, that's all they would do. They didn't want to read it out loud. I had to read it off of their Chromebooks to them. Okay. Can I read it for us? And read it like I've been reading this morning as if it's the most golden words you've ever seen. I went to Walmart. Oh my gosh, this is a place that matters. You go there a lot. I bet you have a lot of stories at Walmart, don't you? It's gonna make a great book. That's instead of, oh my God, can you think of something more exciting? That short paragraph. Go the direction of all the glory and the things they're doing well. You're a gracious host. Welcome to my workshop. Now this part was a big light bulb to me as well. The second C is where you want to take yourself next. It's the compliments. All the smart things they're doing. And some of the language I like to use is this. You need to be specific. And I like to point to the words and say it out loud again. Like that story of Cronky the donkey. I would echo, the streets were empty, the yards were empty, the whole town was empty. And I read it like that so the other kids around can hear it and learn from it. I don't have them pick up all their stuff and come see me in my territory over here at my conferring table or my desk. That's threatening to a lot of kids. It interrupts their work. I'd rather go up behind them or beside them, not to scare them behind them, but to watch and say, yeah, keep working, I'm just writing down all the smart things you're doing. Name, date, here's the smart things you do, and I can get all that written down before we even talk. Okay? And you don't want to just say, wow, that's so good. Whew. See you later. You need to be specific and say, you're an expert. This is the kind of kid you are, isn't it? You have a real talent here with illustration. You know a lot of things for your informational use. There's touch the exact words where you saw the geniusness and read it out loud.